Welcome to the New Home Show. This is your information connection to find out everything you need to know about buying a new construction home in Central Florida. I'm your host, Daniel Hat McPhee. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the New Home Show. I'm your host, Daniel Hat McPhee, and today I am so excited to be bringing you an episode about adjustable rate mortgages, otherwise known as ARMs. Are they a smart tool or a dangerous gamble? You're about to find out. Adjustable rate mortgages a lot of times get a bad reputation. However, most people don't actually understand how they work. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what an ARM is, who they can be great for, and when they can be an absolute nightmare. For the right buyer, an ARM can save you tens of thousands of dollars. In the wrong situation, they can be an absolute disaster. So what is an adjustable rate mortgage? Well, it's got two phases. There's a fixed interest rate phase and a variable rate phase. And you'll often see this expressed in terms like 5-1, 7-1, 10-1. Here's how that works. The fixed rate phase is going to be that first number. So let's say it's a 5-1. For 5 years, your interest rate will be a fixed amount. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of 3.99, which, as I'm sure you know, is really, really good. So it'll stay that way for 5 years. There's no gimmicks, there's no tricks. For 5 years, you get a 3.99% interest rate. And then after that, and this is where the second number comes in, for every year, that gets adjusted to what the rate is, the index rate at that time. Could be higher, could be lower, and then it's gonna get readjusted every year. So that's the second phase. That second number is the second phase, the variable interest rate phase. The key to this is really that first number. Most people think, and I think this is a lot of times why ARMs get a bad reputation, they think that it's just going to go up and down and all over the place right off the bat, and that's just not true. For the first number, in this case the 5 years, it's going to stay the same. There will be no adjustment for 5 years. So why does an ARM exist? Hey Hat, that's a great question. They're really a tool. This isn't a trap, it's not a trick, it's not a lender trying to slide something past you. It's a tool. It's to help a consumer, a buyer, get a loan when they otherwise might not be able to. You know, the difference in a 3.99% interest rate and a 5.99 interest rate could be hundreds of dollars every month in a mortgage. This gives you the opportunity to get into that loan, and it gives you 5 years to refinance, to sell the property, which some people would, or if you're okay with the variable rate, riding out whatever the index is at that time. I'm sure you've all seen a different type of financing for not a mortgage, but for an appliance or for furniture or something like that, where you're offered 0% interest for 12 months or for 24 months. This gives you the opportunity, well, let me back up. So it's two phases, just like an ARM. You have that introductory period where you have 0 interest, gives you the opportunity to pay that off, and then you're done. The second phase would be the interest phase with the term of the loan. It's kind of like that. You have that first phase where you can pay it off. Second phase, when you incur the interest. An ARM, you have the first phase where you have a fixed interest rate, and the second phase where you have the variable interest rate. It's really just another tool. So now let's talk about how that adjustment actually works. So if you get past that fixed period and you go into the adjustable period, it's adjusted based on, like I said, an index and a fixed margin. So kind of like what the rates are at the time is an easy way to think of it. But don't worry, it can't just skyrocket. If something happened and the interest rate went to like 16%, you're not gonna get that 16% interest, because each one of these ARM loans has a maximum. Let's say they have guardrails, so to speak. Like when you go bowling, you can't throw it in the gutter because you have those bumpers in there, right? That's kind of like what this is. So for instance, with this 5-1, let's say the first year, the highest it can go up is 2% interest. And then after that, every year will be 1% interest. And then there's still a cap above that. So you'll know before you sign on that dotted line what the maximum amount of interest is. So you can be for sure that you're never going to go over a certain amount. It's really a safety that's put in there so that you can be assured that you're not going to get taken to the cleaners. So now let's talk about the big arm myths. Number one, arms caused the 2008 crash. That's not true. Actually, what caused the 2008 crash is very bad lending, actually predatory lending. Lenders at that time, not all lenders, there were some lenders that were giving what we call information-only loans. You could actually go to the lender back then and say, I make $500,000 a year. They'd write that down, here's your loan. It didn't work real well. That's what caused the crash, not an arm. The second big myth is, hey, your payment is going to just skyrocket immediately. Well, we already covered that. The rate could go up, but there's caps. There's a safety. There's the bumpers in the gutter, right? The guardrails. Myth number 3, only risky buyers will take an ARM loan. That's not true either. A lot of people seem to think that an ARM is designed for people who maybe don't have the best credit or are barely qualified, those types of things. Not true. There are a lot of savvy investors who use this as a way to get a low interest rate. People who are just business minded and know where the value is. An easy way to think about it is the danger is not in the loan. The danger would be if you use this loan in the wrong situation. Again, this isn't really best for somebody who's going to use this loan long term. This is more for somebody who, within that first fixed period, is going to sell or refinance. So right here in Central Florida, the two most common uses for this loan, what I see people use it most for is people who know that they're going to sell or refinance soon, and then also with new construction. This is an incentive that's used by a lot of new build companies to get you into that home. When is an ARM a really bad idea? Number one, if you're really stretched to qualify, probably not the best idea. If you plan on keeping the home long term and you don't plan on doing any kind of refinancing, probably not the best idea. If you panic about uncertainty and this is going to keep you up at night, definitely not a good idea. And number 4, if payment stability is critical, like if you just need to have that locked in payment for 30 years, this is a terrible idea. So again, if a rising payment or the thought of it changing is something that's just gonna freak you out and keep you up at night, you definitely don't wanna do this. So I definitely don't push loan products. I'm always really looking for the best fit for that person. And the way that I do that is really just by asking better questions. So some of the questions that I would ask you are, how long do you realistically see yourself living in this home? Is this a lifestyle purchase where you're gonna be there for a long time? Or is this just kind of like a stepping stone to another house? And then the last thing is, how comfortable are you with risk? Because let's face it, there is a little bit of risk if for some reason you're not able to sell the home or refinance. You go into that variable rate period, there's definitely some risk. So in closing, an ARM can be really smart or really reckless depending on you, the buyer, and your situation. You definitely don't want to make this kind of decision in isolation. If you're thinking about purchasing a new construction home, or any home for that matter, and you're considering some of these options, I would love to walk through that with you. I've got great private lenders. I can hook you up with great builders who can offer this to you. Let's sit down, talk about what your needs are and what your wants are, and come up with a plan. My name is Daniel Hatt McPhee. You can reach me by phone, you can text me, email me, DM, send a pigeon, put up a smoke signal, whatever you need to do. Let's have that conversation. Talk to you soon.